but you don't know what tomorrow brings. Still in this crazy world, people dying like flies every day. You read about it in the news, but you don't believe it. You only know about it when the man in the lamp black coat knocks on your door. Cause first next meeting, I swear I'm living. But you don't know what tomorrow brings. Still in this crazy world, people dying like flies every day. You read about it in the news, but you don't.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining me in this video. This is 4:00 p.m. Nigerian time, and today is Tuesday, the 18th day of November 2025. Thanks for joining me. We are talking about the emergency of the Christian genocide ongoing in Nigeria and why something must be done urgently, not about planning to do something. Something must be done urgently about the current, crisis in Nigeria, which is targeted against some certain people, targeted against some certain villages because of whom they are. So that is actually what we are going to look into this evening. It is disheartening to know that even from Borno State to Plateau State to Benue State, so many parts of the country, including Taraba State, that most Christian villages are what? Deserted. Just take a look.
Look at this place very well. This was once a Christian-dominated area located in Dikwa, Maiduguri, Borno State. Look at the place very well. If you are yet to leave your comfort zone to visit this kind of villages in the northern part of Nigeria, you will not be able to know what Christians are going through. You will not be able to know the kind of persecution that Christians are facing. When we said villages are being wiped out, this is what it means. This is how it looked like. A lot of people were killed here. A lot of people were displaced by these Islamic terrorists. We were once in this place for a mission outreach. But look at how the place is now. Look at how the place is now, as if people have never been here before. And there are a lot of villages like this that have been completely wiped out by these Islamic terrorists. A lot of people were killed, a lot were displaced. Look at how the place is now, as if people have never been here before.
Wow. Do you see? This is a dominated Christian communities, Christian villages. Like what you are seeing on the video right now, it is not limited to one place. If you check, there are so many places where such a thing like this is happening in Nigeria, where people have been chased out of their ancestral homes because they belong to a particular set of people that people don't want them in Nigeria. So this is actually what is going on. And also, T.Y. Danjuma's village, there is a village called Takum. That is the village T.Y. Danjuma came from in Taraba State. A lot of you know T.Y. Danjuma because of his famous statement of the military and the police in Nigeria colluding with the armed bandits to commit ethnic cleansing against the people. So T.Y. Danjuma is the author of that famous, statement. So he was a retired general, and as I speak to you, they are targeting his community right now, and a lot of people are already lamenting about this. You can see the people are protesting. These are dominated Christian communities of Takum in Taraba. So we cannot continue to pretend that there is no Christian genocide, or there is no genocide in Nigeria, or there is no push for Sharia, and so on and so forth. Everything that is going on in Nigeria is a well-calculated and orchestrated plan to commit ethnic cleansing against the people. There is nothing, or there is no two ways about this. And people who are committing all these things are well known by the people. Just take a look at what is going on. This is unfortunate incident of the things that are going on right now in Taraba State. You know, we cannot continue like this. That is just the truth. Something must be done about it. And I will let you know that a lot of things are being done about this at the moment. A lot of things are being done locally. A lot of things are being done internationally. We cannot leave our destinies in the hands of people who want to see us being terminated, being eliminated from this world. That is whom most of our politicians are, most of security operatives. Some of the security operatives are good, are awesome, but so many of them have, compromised. And you could see it from so many of them who will come here and give you testimony of how their life is going or the experiences they have or they had when they were with the Nigerian army. Yesterday, I shared with you what Pastor Matu Ashimodo, his own personal experience about the Christian genocide or genocide going on in Nigeria. There is nothing he did not say, to the extent of alleging that helicopters are also dropping weapons for them to kill Christians. See, many people don't still understand what is going on in Nigeria, okay? Many people don't understand. All right. Before we start bringing in our guests, I want us to revisit the testimony of Matu Ashimodo so that we can use it to analyze what we want to say. Now, stay with me.
Terrorism is ahead. Fulani herdsmen carrying guns and invading people's farm, chasing them out is another head. The guys who demand money, what did they call it? Kidnappers is a head, and there are many more heads. And then deliberate chasing of people away from their land and immediately putting another tribe there is a head. So, are these things happening in Nigeria or not? I'll just take you down some historical cases and I'll ask you, is it really happening in Nigeria? Maitasine, in the 70s, a man who rose and began to teach a form of Islamic cleansing that says anybody who was not of that particular belief must die. Is that not genocide? And is that fair in a secular nation? Zango Kataf. Zango Kataf, in case you don't know, what you know as Kaduna State was once including Katsina. And on grounds of religion, Katsina State was cut off because the majority of Katsina State was Islamic. And what remained as Kaduna State was majority what we call Southern Kaduna, Zango Katav, people who are so on and so forth. I don't want to mention all the tribes. And despite cutting and now having Kaduna State, the south of Kaduna State is 99% Christian, producing Professor Ishaya Audu, first Vice Chancellor Amadu Bello, producing General Ishaya Bameyi, producing former Deputy Governor Central Bank, Melafia. But somebody was still not satisfied and wanted their land. And particularly under the watch of a particular governor, probably 23,000 of these people died. Is it so? Is it not so? And if people of that number died, I mean, Zangu Kata, people were being hacked, cut like animals because you wanted their land and because they didn't follow your religion. Is that genocide or not? There was beheading in Kanu because, what's the name of the evangelist? Reinhard Bonnke came to hold a crusade, and they said, Christian crusade is not allowed. Not only did they destroy the equipment, they cut Christians. Is that genocide or not? Deborah Samuel, a girl in a polytechnic in Nigeria, in the north, She saw on the platform of her class that people were posting religious things. And she said, hey, this platform is for our study, not for religion. They went, they killed her. And when it became a court case, 52 barristers who hold the religious faith different from hers showed up to defend the guys who killed her. Is that genocide or not? Evangelist Eunice in Greater Abuja went out 5 a.m. to do what we used to do down south here. And when we were kids, I was born a Muslim. My name is Ahmed. My mother is Aishat. My brother is Mudashir. My sister is Khadijat. My dad is Salau. But we knew people who would wake up and be waking people to prayer. That was what Evangelist Eunice did, and they hacked her to death. And then...
All right, that was the continuous, listing of killings and the occasions of genocide by Pastor Matu Ashimondo. And you can verify everything that this man is saying, that he's just saying nothing but the truth. Okay, Mr. Abi, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. Can you unmute yourself? Let me see if I can do it from here. Can't unmute your guest. All right. Good afternoon.
Hi,
Yeah,
good afternoon.
Sorry, it's evening over here.
Oh, it's morning over here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I'm calling from the United States. I've been listening to you for a while now, and I love what you're doing. So,
Thank you.
I'm not surprised with what is going on in Nigeria because in 1966, my mom's family witnessed a similar thing. My granddad, who is a railway engineer, was killed in northern Nigeria when the program was going on. So thankfully, his kinsmen were telling him he should come back home to the east, but he said he's a federal worker and nothing is going to happen to them. So thankfully, he sent his family back home, but he was still there. And eventually, they were slaughtered. A lot of Igbo, those from the eastern part, even Akwa Ibom and all that, they were killed. But one person was survived, and he was the one that narrated how the whole thing went on. And unfortunately, nobody saw his corpse. No, he was not buried. They just did the burial. Yeah, we didn't see the corpse because after that, after 1966, 1967, the war started. So, he was they just did the burial ceremony. You know how they do it, but his corpse was not found. So none of them. So, and that really touched their my maternal family, my mom's family. Really had a great impact on their lives. So what is happening now, it's not a surprise to me. Even while growing up, I watched my grandma because we live in a town that were developed by all these missionaries then. So my maternal grandma was living with us in our home. So when these Fulanis will be coming, because my dad had a story building, so we'll see them from far away and we'll smell the smell of that cattle and all that. So I will tell my grandma, because my grandma, they lived in North, so she can't speak Hausa very well. I'll tell her, oh, these Fulanis, they are coming again. So she will come downstairs and talk to them. Then they were not carrying any AK-47, they just have their stick. So she will talk to them in Hausa language, and they will be happy that she speaks Hausa, and they will ask her for water to drink. So we'll give them water and they will go. And my grandma will tell them, okay, you people make sure that the cattle don't eat people's crops, and they will adhere to that instruction and they will go. But around 2012, 2014, we start hearing the stories of kidnapping and all that. We know that things were changing. Yeah. So I'm not really surprised with what is going on in Nigeria. But what we have to advocate is for the country to be divided. If it is in 2 or in 4, in 6, anyhow they want to do it. So that's the main thing everybody have to advocate, you know. And you know, Nigerian government allegedly they will bring out all these distractions, people fighting in an airplane, people fighting over the land, just to distract people from the main issue that is going on, allegedly, you know. And also, you know, they said Nicki Minaj is gonna be speaking at the UN today. At that will be around 7:30 Nigerian time. That will be around 10. That will be around 1:30 p.m. Eastern time in United States. So I think I send you a link about that. Yeah, I would like you guys to tune in. Everybody should tune in. At least in the chat section, you guys, everybody should be commenting what we want. Because I was listening to Dr. Damage's program last Saturday where they invited Reverend Ezekiel, and they were asking him what's the long-term plan? What does he want as a long-term plan? And he couldn't make any meaningful impact to say what he really wants for the long-term plan. So the long-term plan should be to divide our country so that those that want Sharia law should stay in their own country and practice their Sharia law. Those that doesn't want it to stay in their own side and practice whatever they want to practice. So that's what I'm advocating, that people should at least log into that YouTube, United Nations YouTube link. I send it to you so that they can be commenting there, so that what we really want.
All right.
So
Do you actually know the contents of what she's going to broadcast, of the speech she's going to give?
I think she's advocating for Christians in Nigeria. They should allow us to practice, to worship our God the way we want to do it, without being persecuted, without being killed. But I think that would be a very good platform for Christians to go to the comment section and be commenting on the long term, what they want to divide our country, because these people they are not gonna stop until they do what they want to do. So it's good that in that type of platform that Christians voices should be heard, what we want as a long-term goal for us. Yeah, thank you.
All right. There are a lot of people who also, anytime we talk about the issue of dividing Nigeria, which is the ultimate solution, we still have a lot of people who will also voice out their own complaint that they are Christians in Borno, they are Christians in Maiduguri, they are Christians in Sokoto, that if Nigeria is divided, what would happen? Like, what will be their own fate? You understand? Yeah. So what do you have to tell them?
So those in Maiduguri, those in the far north, what I have to tell them, if you continue to stay there, they will eventually kill all of you, and that turn every other person that will agree to convert into their own religion. So the solution is, I know it will be painful, but that's the thing you have to do. The solution will be for you guys to move to the north central area, which is the southern Kaduna, Nasarawa, Niger, Taraba, that area. I know it will be difficult. I know it will be painful to leave your ancestral homes and move to that area. And if Nigeria breaks up or they create that area as its own country, so because you guys speak at least the same language, like Hausa language, that would be a favorable ground for you guys. But if you continue to say, okay, you live in Meduguri, you live in Borno, you live in Zamfara and a Christian, and you don't want Nigeria to break, eventually they will kill all of you and they will come from there to west, to central, to east, and kill everybody that doesn't want to convert. You see how Turkey is. You know, Turkey was not all that a Muslim country before, but they were killed. A lot of Christians were killed and others converted, you know. And as I've been working here in United States, I've met some Iranians that are Christians I work with elderly people, and I've met some Iranians that were Christians that left their country when the country they killed, and a lot of people became Muslims. You know, some of them Iranians are Christians over here. So if care is not taken, that will be the fate of Nigeria if nothing is being done. So Christians in Nigeria should advocate, at least tune in and send messages in the chat section of that Nicki Minaj speech that is gonna happen today, so that people can know and hear and know what we want. So that's my advice. That's my opinion. Yeah, thank you.
All right, Mr. B. I really appreciate that. Let us turn on to Mr. Erasmus. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Mr. Erasmus, you are muted. You can unmute yourself. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah.
All right.
I know you will agree with
seen...
me that right from time we have been saying, hello?
Yeah,
we have been shouting on top of our voices that this was, yes, we have been shouting on top of our voices that this was what was going to happen. Remember, I gave reference of Afghanistan, what happened in Afghanistan. Now, the question that a lot of people have not been asking, and I have not heard you ask the question. I want to ask, you know the position of Brigadier General. Now, in the attack that they kidnapped a Brigadier General, only 2 soldiers were killed, and only 2 vigilantes were killed. How did the terrorists lay hands on a Brigadier General without massacring all the soldiers that were there? Have you thought about that?
This is a deep thought. Nobody's asking about this.
Nobody's asking captain of the army. If army is leading the troop, do you know how many military men they follow ordinary captain? We are not talking about a colonel, even colonel. We are talking of a brigadier general. How many troops were with him? How come the troops were not annihilated? And they just captured it. It was not as if he was going on a personal mission, he just drive. They call kidnapper. No. This one, if they go with troops, a brigadier general, only 2 military men were killed, and he was captured. Nobody is talking about it. And that's what the whole thing just surprised me. Say, nobody is you know how many troops they go with brigadier general?
Mr. Erasmus, there is something on your mind. I want you to speak it forth.
No,
what could happen? I just wanted only two army officers were killed before capturing a brigadier general.
Yes.
Who is supposed to be with minimum of 200 soldiers, 300 soldiers around him.
You know
tell us what we don't know.
We are mutants with everything, with all the things. They don't capture us. Afghanistan template is what is playing out. You remember that when Taliban captured Afghanistan government, right? The military did not fight. What happened was that the top of gas in the hierarchy, right? There was no fight. When America left and Taliban came, there was no fight. Why was there no fight? Afghanistan military had military equipment supplied by US. So they had NATO grade military equipment, but they did not engage Taliban. Why? Because the head of all the military, the key commanders were Taliban, supporters of Taliban. So they told their troops to lay down their arms. So something is going on. Something is going on. You remember when this man, what was this man? This diplomat, one old diplomat, one Yoruba man. He's a diplomat, Akiyemi, Professor Akiyemi. Before Akiyemi said it, I listened to one lawyer in America who was privy to the agreement, who knew what happened when Chibok girls were kidnapped. When the U.S. military they planned to come and extradite, pick the girls. And when they finished the planning, the Nigerian military leaked the plan to Boko Haram. By the time the intention was to gas the camp of Boko Haram, then they would just extract the girls without fighting. Then by the time they were doing reconnaissance survey to confirm before they enter, they discovered that Boko Haram were wearing gas masks. Have you not watched the video by Professor Akiyemi on Arise News?
Yeah.
So that is what is going on. There is collaboration in the highest. I'm not talking about brigadier general level. The highest. When you have a terrorist, a man where the man that Kabiru Sokoto that bombed Christians in Catholic Church in Abuja, when his liaison office, the Borno State Government House, under Kashif Shettima, when he was arrested in his house, and is the vice president of Nigeria. I don't know whether you are thinking what I'm thinking. Right now, that person is the vice president. His own house was where a terrorist that bombed Christians in the Catholic Church on Christmas Day was arrested. This will not be made talker in the public news. Remember that woman, that Northern woman, on national TV said it. Now, you see the highest level for what is going on. So the thing is this, it's just a matter of time. We may want to pretend and put our head on that sand and say, hey, no lie. Nigeria can never be this thing. They cannot capture the Christians. Oh, Nigeria not this thing. We are just wasting our time. The only solution now, one, break up of Nigeria. That is the only solution. If we don't break up Nigeria, if it can't do it 10 years time, they will do it 5 years time. They can't do it 5 years time, they will do it 15 years time. If they don't fit do it 15 years time, they will do it 20 years time. They will Islamize the entire Nigeria. Nothing is going to stop them. Nothing is going to stop them. The solution is to break up Nigeria. That is the only solution. That kidnap of the general was a well-planned thing. The military hierarchy to explain what happened.
Mr. Erasmus.
Yes.
How fast, how urgent it is to do this? Because we have been saying these things. We have been saying this thing from right from time. We have been saying this thing, talking about the solution is to make sure Nigeria separate along their ethnic line and so on and so forth, so that they can defend their territories, they can defend their lands. And there is something that the elder brother of Babadati Ahmed said on Arise News, and I have published the video 2 times. If you have seen it, I still publish it today. And he made a statement that there is a plan to annex Nigeria with southern Niger, with Chad, with northern Cameroon to form a terror stronghold in next year. So all these things that are going on right now is an indication that these people have captured the military. For a big brigadier general to be captured.
Not only the military, the police. The police have been captured. In fact, custom, they supply the rice now.
I'm aware of that.
You see these guys when custom go say they make Boko Haram they give Boko Haram rice, may they not kill them. Custom has been infiltrated. In fact, the entire security apparatus of Nigerian government, military, all of them, Navy. You see Air Force. Remember, see, you follow, say this military general was in communication with a military. His location,
Yes.
he gave his location to helicopter. Part of the communication was that he was already hearing the helicopter coming. Now, what happened? That they suddenly captured him. He was already hearing the helicopter coming.
Even after capturing him, the Nigerian army could not put up a stiff fight to rescue him.
General, he was sold out. You remember, you know, a lot of people now, their mind now will be open to remember what did happen. You remember that Yoruba girl that was killed, that Yoruba pilot that was killed inside military barracks. What they say now, driver went to drive this thing. We know, even when that thing happened, we know. Now Boko Haram elements they come out because he was very brutal in taking them out, hitting the terrorist stronghold. We have seen people from Santa Kaduna came on national TV and were explaining how Boko Haram and Fulani herdsmen are terrorists. They attacked them. They reinforced and they were now giving upper hand against the terrorists. Suddenly, military helicopter came. Military helicopter came and opened fire on them. Have you not watched it live? Have you not watched it? I think it was the local government chairman that was explaining it. Military helicopter, Fulani herdsmen called military helicopter reinforcement. And they came and leveled those people. So,
I've had occasions, sir. I've had occasions where the Air Force killed JTF and vigilante officers 3 times now who are running after the bandits to kill them. But they said it was a mistake.
No. You see, now this thing they go tell you now. Now this thing they go tell you. So we know what is going on. So it's just a matter of time. So the solution now, waiting for this man talk, Kunle Olawumi, he said they will not stop. He said it's painful to him to come to the conclusion. Remember what he said? He said, for that last interview, he said it's painful that at this point he has come to the conclusion that the only solution is break up. That they will not stop. You understand? So they have succeeded in taking over the entire military architecture. The military cannot be trusted. The police cannot be trusted. When it comes to the real going, at that time you will understand what they happen. The military men will turn their guns on their people. Right now, what they do now to sell them out. But if we get to a point, they will turn the gun for real, they will face them. The solution is what Ted Cruz is proposing. Remember when I said it? Ted Cruz has not come out to say that day. Remember when I said Ted Cruz is proposing something? Sharia. Now there the solution be. That's what our solution is. If we can hammer on that thing, how can you be in a one country? Remember, before Sharia came to Nigeria, there was nothing like terrorism.
Yeah.
Now only the fight.
Yeah.
2001, not be Sharia come. Not be 2009 Boko Haram contact. Now that Sharia, and they don't experience that Sharia. You understand? You don't give them this. You say, why can't we expand this? You understand? So that's exactly what they want to do. And they have bought the mind of the core northern Muslims about Sharia. They want Sharia. So long as they want Sharia, they will not stop until they conquer Nigeria to use the entire Sharia because we are still one. So the only solution to dissuade them from that Sharia is to say, okay, now want Sharia, the rest of the country cannot practice Sharia. So he said that now allows a secular government, they cannot be two constitutions in the country, or una break away and form your Sharia. Unfortunately, those Christians in the core north, they will have to move to Middle Belt or go to other places because they will be swallowed. You understand? Because they will not allow, they have tasted it. They have tasted blood. They will not agree not to practice Sharia. So long as they don't agree, then it will not be an opportunity to say, let us break it up. Maybe break it into 3. The Middle Belt, the South, and this, they will find a way to break up. But, then the Christians in the core north, they will just have to look. That is just the only solution. There's nothing smooth about it.
Wow. Okay, Mr. Erasmus, you have to hold on because I'm going to ask you a question again later. Then, hard not, unmute yourself. I want you to look into this. The US Rep. Moore accused Tinubu of lying. He called Tinubu a liar. that Tinubu is lying about the issue of Christian genocide in Nigeria. Take a listen for it, because I want to ask you a question from here.
I want to read something from Nigeria's president. He says the characterization of Nigeria as religiously intolerant doesn't reflect our national reality. Religious freedom and tolerance have been a core tenet of our collective identity and shall always remain so. Nigeria opposes religious persecution and does not encourage it. He says the picture we're getting here is not accurate.
You know, unfortunately, that is completely false. I mean, there are states in Nigeria that have blasphemy laws, people who are facing the death penalty right now for blasphemy against Islam. There's a person currently right now who's held in prison for defending himself from attack from a Muslim militant from the Fulani tribe. He defended himself, and he's facing the death penalty. So, no, there's serious persecution happening in Nigeria. I know the president, Tinubu, is in a difficult position in trying to protect his interests there in that country, but they are complicit in this to one degree or another with statements like this.
I want to read something from Nigeria's president. He says the character...
All right, look at, there are two key points there I want you to explain. Hard note. Do you understand by when he said Tinubu is lying because there are people facing blasphemy, facing death penalty because of Islamic law in Nigeria right now? Secondly, Tinubu is complicit. So this US rep just said that Tinubu is complicit to what is going on. What do you learn from that? Or what do you have to say about that? Hard not. Are you with us? You just muted your this thing. You cannot mute it. Okay.
Can you hear? Oh, you know.
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Okay. So bear my mind.
We can't hear you.
Let me bear my
your
mind
network.
in this. Can you hear me?
It seems your network. Yeah, I can hear you now. Speak.
Yeah, so I'm saying I don't know whether to answer the questions or just bear my mind. I think it's better I bear my mind just respectfully. I know you would rather I answer the questions, but I just,
Okay.
you know,
Okay.
so I've been calling into your show. So see, Mazi, I want you to look for there's a video made by Captain Emmanuel Ngobosi. He was the last surviving member of the boys that carried out the January 66 coup. The main reason why they carried out that coup was to stop the Islamization agenda, the caliphate. Now, you know, there are so many reasons these boys did that thing. One of the other reasons was the TV uprisings, which in the thieves are in the Middle Belt. There was this uprising that happened there, and actually it was against the caliphate. Because remember that this issue of the caliphate was there before Britain even came. The Fulanis have been trying to overrun all of that space. So the British incursion kind of halted it, you know, halted it.
We are finding it difficult to hear you. We are finding it difficult to hear you.
With the military, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, but it seems the network there is disturbing.
No, don't worry, my network is stable. So I'm just trying to say that
we can't hear you. We can't hear you. We can't hear you, sir.
Grandfather, my maternal uncle, my paternal in the north graduates, very educated people, they were killed. So what I do as Nigerians is we are trying to jump, you know, to skip the stages that we have to heal that space and just isolate or pick individual cases and talk about Sharia and all those things. If you don't address what happened in 1966 and how they started massacring Igbos, there is no way we can really get a true solution. Gowon, Danjuma, they are alive. These are men who presided over the massacre of Igbos. These are men that now their territory, their villages are overrun. They are coming out to tell you that there is collusion, but they don't want to go back and tell the truth. So it's not only Tinubu that is lying. The entire Nigerians are bloody evil liars. Let me tell you. So what will happen if Americans come and help? Then they will start killing any American they see, or start killing Igbos. Now there is an effort to blame Igbos or blame IPOB for this initiative to bring the Americans to intervene. So let's say the Americans come and intervene. What will happen now, like what happened in 1966, is that we ignore everything that has all the issues that brought about the intervention, and they will start looking for Igbos because they will not see Americans to kill. They will start killing Igbos. That is what will happen. So there's something seriously wrong, pathological in that space. People are liars. You see the guy that talked, that pastor who, the one you heard, the guy who said he witnessed his father coming back from a massacre of Igbo people in Zaria in 1966-67. You see, there are so many people like that still alive. These men, they supervise the massacre of innocent people. And Nigeria has not apologized. Nigeria has not atoned. Nigeria has zilch. And you think that good will come out of it? It's not possible. Let me tell you what will happen to Nigeria. The entire Nigeria space will be Islamized. Because you people don't even agree and you don't even acknowledge what you're dealing with. What you're up against. People who try to intervene then, you misinterpreted what they did and said it was Igbo people trying to take over power and slaughtered innocent people and massacred the generations of Igbos. Our brightest mind were in the north. Intelligent people helping the federal government, they massacred them. And then that was not enough. They came down to our region, starved our children, killed us, and after that, they're still killing us and starving us. Even in the presence of all of this, you still have pastors saying that Igbo people are the problem with Nigeria. You see how wicked people are in that space? So this conversation, people have to be very careful. I don't even want Igbos to get involved in this conversation. This problem, everybody, all man for himself. When we try to intervene, the Yorubas benefited from it. Akintola was taken out because Akintola was in cahoots with the Sabrana, who was trying to take over the Southwest. But they turned everything and started and massacred the Igbos. The TVs, they benefited from it, and then they turned around as they were supposed to benefit from it. They turned around and started massacring Igbos. And all of us want to move along and just like nothing happened. It doesn't happen anywhere in the world. The Jews keep talking about the Holocaust. They're still trying to understand what happened to them so that it will never happen again. Our experience is very recent. It just happened a couple of decades ago. And the men who perpetrated this evil, the people who witnessed this evil, the eyewitnesses, they are still alive. They are still walking around in that space. Nobody wants to come out and speak the truth and address this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hardnot. Yeah, this is unfiltered truth. It's an unfiltered truth about what is going on. You know, this is so terrible. It's so confusing. Sometimes you see a lot of people in Nigeria who find it difficult to speak the truth. But there is a statement Nnamdi Kanu made at the time saying, you see this war you are running away from, the war will come and meet you because it is going to happen. That this thing you are running away, that you want this, you want that, you don't want to disturb anybody. Don't worry, even when you are sitting at home, they will open your door, take you out and slaughter you. This is so unfortunate. When I mean unfortunate, it's an unfortunate situation that even people in the South supposed to learn. At the beginning of this video, I played a very important video of Christian community in Borno State. For those of you who just joined now,
look at this place very well. This was once a Christian-dominated area located in Dikwa, Maiduguri, Borno State. Look at the place very well. If you are yet to leave your comfort zone to visit this kind of villages in the northern part of Nigeria, you will not be able to know what Christians are going through. You will not be able to know the kind of persecution that Christians are facing. When we said villages are being wiped out, this is what it means. This is how it looked like. A lot of people were killed here. A lot of people were displaced by these Islamic terrorists. We were once in this place for a mission outreach. But look at how the place is now. Look at how the place is now, as if people have never been here before. And there are a lot of villages like this that have been completely wiped out by these Islamic terrorists. A lot of people were killed, a lot were displaced. Look at how the place is now, as if people have never been here before.
So unfortunate. So unfortunate. So with this, let's go to Mr. Sam. Mr. Sam, good evening. Thanks for joining us. You can unmute yourself. This is so unfortunate, you know. Are you there, Mr. Sam? You can unmute yourself. Okay. We can't hear you. Are you talking to us? We can't hear you, sir. Something
Hello,
might be
can you
wrong
hear
with
me,
your...
Okocha?
Yeah. I can hear you now. I was thinking something is wrong with your phone or with your laptop.
Okay, thank you for your program you are doing, and you have been watching all your program all this for years now. I've been following you. No,
Thanks for that.
Nigeria has no remedy. The only solution to Nigeria is just to divide it. That is all we need.
What are the mechanisms, or what are the way? Because you see all these people in power, they know the truth, but because of the money, the power they enjoy, nobody wants to talk about this. Nobody wants to talk about this.
So if you are talking about the insecurity, the government is the sponsor of the insecurity. So how can they stop something they started?
That is the truth. They can't stop it. And that is why, I am telling so many people in Nigeria that, listen, we need to support anyone who says they want to come and help out, like what Donald Trump just said. We need to give every support, because I don't think that there is any other solution to curbing these security challenges in Nigeria. It's going to, it's going to touch everybody. This thing is holistic now that I speak to you. Before, we were thinking this is a northern phenomenon. It's only from the northeast. It's only from the north central, Kobono, Koyobe. But as I speak to you, I'm sorry to say this, we are just like people on a death row. So you might just wake up and meet your end. So apart from the United States intervention, what do you think the people should do?
There's nothing. Only solution, if they cannot divide the country, then America has to intervene. If America cannot intervene, then it will be everybody have to arm himself to defend himself. Everybody has to go and find a way to have his own gun to defend himself. Because this insecurity, the government of Nigeria knows the problem. They are the sponsor. They know. Buhari is the sponsor of the program, followed by Tinubu was there. This APC. Shetima, everybody know his story. Huh? So they cannot fight insecurity, because even if America come in, they are doing everything. They are bribing everything in America so that America will not come. They are doing everything because America coming in would involve the minister. The minister will be involved. The governors will be involved. Many things will be eliminated. So that is why they are fighting tooth and nail to make sure that America will not come in. But that is the only thing that will save us. Like the brigadier general that was kidnapped, and he wasn't kidnapped. The man was sold out. They give the man away.
He did not support their cause.
Yes, he was given away. So how can they arrest a brigadier general? Where is he twice? Where is his commanders? So they just give the money away and come back. So if anybody are telling you the insecurity where Tinubu cannot fight insecurity, Tinubu is part of the insecurity. Because Tinubu fund Buhari campaign organization. Tinubu was in the meeting when they bring all this militia from Selegambia and everywhere. Tinubu knows everything about it. So he cannot fight them. When Mietiala was rampant, Buhari give them billions of naira to fund them. Erufai opened his mouth 3 weeks ago and tell you that they are paying to bandits.
It's so unfortunate.
So they can't deny this.
Yeah.
They can't deny
it.
So they know what they are doing. They know what they are doing. And this their Muslim ticket is the worst of anything that happened to Nigeria. That is pure Islamization.
It's
So
all right.
That's nothing. All individuals have to defend themselves if you could. Pity for those people that anyway. My mother is dead. My father is dead. I'm no longer in that zoo called Nigeria. Also, my family is not there. Go. Come on, but we have a place to go. It's unfortunate. And the Nigerian army
is so unfortunate.
It's no longer Nigerian army we serve. I serve this Nigerian. I serve that. I was once. These things that happening was not what we saw when we were in the army. When we were in the army, everything was pure truth. You don't do anything like that. But I don't know how they changed. Look at military. They integrated all the Boko Harams into the military. They have taken over the whole thing, the whole system. They are in police, they are in Air Force, they are everywhere. And they are promoting them to high rank officers. When Brutai was the chief of defense staff, Brutai funded all the militia, all the gun, everything that the US sent to Nigeria, he gave it to them. It's Brutai that do those things with Buhari. But if you feel like Nigeria, they don't know. They know.
All right, they know. That is the truth. We know they know.
They know. They know.
All right.
So they only
right,
the genocide they are talking about Nigeria. The genocide has already started before we are born. Before we were born, they have started killing people from the north. Do you hear about Hausa now? Nobody hear about Hausa. They already finished the Hausa people. Nobody hears about Hausa people. Now it's Fulani. Where is Hawaka? Where is Wari people? Where is Wagi people?
Even this Brigadier General, they kill now. It's an Hausa man. All right,
so
sir. Thank you so much for sharing.
Any Hausa man that raised head will be killed. Any Hausa man that raised head will be killed. They have to eliminate him. Only thing they want to take over, Fulani has taken over the whole of that place. Before we were hiring Hausa Fulani, where is Hausa? No Hausa man is a governor. No Hausa man is a local government chairman. So they have overwhelmed them. All right, my brother, let other people contribute.
All right, Mr. Oba, you can unmute yourself. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, thank you so much, my brother. Thank you so much. First of all, I will thank you for the good work that you're doing. Keep it up, my brother. First of all, I would say that our leader, Nnamdi Kanu, that is in DSS dungeon, this is not, it's not that he has been saying all these things. And you know, there is the adage they used to say in Igbo language. They say, "Miliadia mandi Igbo na obo na usperaro." You know, when the rain is, you know, still rooming in the air, nobody, you know, wants to run till the rain begins to beat everybody. That is the way when everybody will now begin to wake up. You know, when our leader was saying the House of Hausa people, they are there. They kept quiet because it is Igbo thing, Igbo. Look at it now. They are the one now crying, dying every day. But what I want to say is that English, I'm not good at the English, but I have to say, you know, manage to say it. For me, in my own opinion, I think the time for, you know, lamenting, talking, I think the time is over. You know, I think former chief of staff, Alaji, what did they call it? Alaji, you know, he said that everybody should, you know, defend themselves, because if you're waiting for Nigerian army, you all die, you know, waiting for Nigerian soldiers, you know. So, and not the first time, say, even DSS, I believe that DSS is that said it also, you know, Nigerians should defend themselves.
Yeah, DSS directors also made a statement.
Yeah, I think all these lamenting people are lamenting. I don't think it's necessary now. What is necessary is for you to go get whatever you know you have to get to defend yourself. That is the only way. When they come to kill, try to make sure you bring somebody down before they bring you down. That is the only way out. Lamenting, waiting for Nigerian government, waiting for Trump. Yes, Trump will be saying they will be doing their plan, but first of all, we are human beings. You have to, you know, act first. You know, because they used to say, Igbo people used to say, "Onye chukwu na-enyere aka na-enyere onwe aka." You know, you have to help yourself first before you wait for somebody else to come and help you. You know, because not only that, if you look what is going on in the internet, there is is it fake prophet or fake pastor there in this Yoruba man saying the Igbo people are the problem of Nigeria. You know, when the killings are going on, I haven't even seen the man for one day talking about the killings of the human beings. He's there saying Igbo people are the problem. You see, for me, I will only tell my brothers, Igbos, ndị Igbo tete n'ụla, onye ọbụla jikele, onye ọbụla kwado onwe ya, Maazị Nnamdi ka na-ekwugo ihe a na mbụ, ọ gwara ọnụ so that na ndị a na-abịa, and they are coming, they are already here. So ndị Igbo kwado n'onwe unu, unu enezine ndị Yoruba anya, ndị a dị kọni, ndị a dị very, very.
What about so many Igbo politicians, so many Igbo people who are still, you know, sabotaging the fight against this terrorism, who are sabotaging when you talk about the issue of referendum and so on and so forth? We have many Igbos who are in the political offices, businessmen and women. They are doing the worst.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes, my brother, what you say is true, but you know, in every what the KKC are saying here, you know, in any community or in any gathering, definitely you must have that, you know, and you don't have to be, you know, looking at those faces of those leaders.
Yes,
you know, that's why,
and that is why the best thing anyone have to say is to call out their own people first. There is a way they used to put it that if there is a sand in your eye, you need to remove it before you remove other people's own.
Exactly.
So I think before you can even call Yoruba people, call your brothers.
Yes,
you understand?
Yes, we are doing so. It's just that you know when Gowon said that if towards Biafra, after the Biafran war, he said that assuming he could have used money to buy all the Igbo people. He made a mistake by going to war with Igbo people. He would have used money to buy them off. So when Nigerian government bring that paper they called money, some people are they are fan of paper which they called money. Because we are not fan of that space. That's why Mazi Simon Ekpa bring out himself as the true Igbo man that he is. That's why Mazi Simon Ekpa also bring out himself as a true Igbo man that he is. Other people can be mixture of Fulani blood after the war, the raping and all that. So that's why we don't look upon the governors, we don't look upon the senators, we don't look upon those people that call themselves honorable men from Southeast, because they are part of what is happening to us. So what we are saying is that those our brothers, those ones that are living, average life, our mothers, they should prepare themselves. Ndị ba kwado no unu echezikwana gọvanọ, unu echezikwana ndị abụkwa pay master ha kwugo ha ụgwọ, Fulani ha kwugo ha elego ani Igbo, elego anyị wụpụ anya, because you can't tell me that when you see your brother suffering injustice, you will keep quiet, saying that court will take his place. How many Fulani bandits that court have taken its place in their head? How many Boko Haram members? How many of them they have captured and they released them? What the ones they met in Nigeria's vice president's house, terrorists, and now you people have a vice president as my brother. Honestly speaking, the time of talking is over. It's action. Everybody defend yourself. Waiting for Nigerian government, waiting for what the Americans to come. You all will just go down before they even come. Because that's why I don't believe in this English of a thing. On a come in a book no ben nage, enough you're not that the men dies in the men's call and a book. Manina English, or but table see about. That's why you enemy. But I trust my Igbo people, they will never try it. Hey, how you not try? How you name make one kahane mail? But Mbogelula, Malam Penapam, okay. My brother, thank you so much for the work you're doing. Keep on doing the job.
All right.
This your voice is going very, very far. Thank you so much. Bless you, bro.
All right. Thank you so much. This is just a very brief live broadcast, unlike the one we used to do before. So we are even coming to the end of the broadcast. It's just scheduled for an hour. So thank you so much for having time to join us and discuss these important issues with us. All right. Have a nice day.
For over a decade, Nigerians have been told that their government is fighting terrorists. Billions of dollars have been spent. Thousands of soldiers have died. Millions have been displaced. Yet the killings never stop. But what if the real reason the war never ends is because those in charge are the ones keeping it alive? This is not speculation. There's evidence, some public, some buried, but all pointing in one direction, that elements within Nigeria's government are funding, protecting, and profiting from terrorism. Let's begin with one viral video that many Nigerians have forgotten. A captured armed terrorist made a confession that should have shaken the country to its core. His words were chilling. I swear to Almighty God, the government is the one arming us. We Fulani don't know guns. We just sat down and they gave us AK-47s. Those words came from a fighter on the ground, not an opposition politician. That single clip, dismissed by officials as propaganda, aligns with reports from both military insiders and international observers. Former Defense Director Major General John Enenche, retired, and security analysts have publicly said that the Nigerian government knows the sponsors of terror but refuses to prosecute them. A 2021 Punch report quoted retired Navy Commodore Kunle Olawunmi saying, "They know the names of the sponsors." The Department of State Services, DSS, has the list, but the government lacks the courage to act. This confession wasn't new. For years, Nigerian security officials and insiders have quietly said the same thing, that the state is protecting those who fund the violence. In 2022, the United Arab Emirates released a list of 6 Nigerians it found guilty of funding Boko Haram. The list came after a lengthy investigation involving the United States Treasury and international banking systems. These men were convicted in a UAE court, their accounts frozen and their networks exposed. But back home, nothing happened. The Nigerian government didn't arrest them. It didn't even open a local investigation. The U.S. Treasury Department publicly released the same names under its sanctions list, warning that these individuals were operating with the knowledge of high-level political cover. Still nothing. That silence was not an oversight. It was a decision. Terrorism is expensive. Guns, vehicles, logistics, ransom payments, they all cost money. And that money doesn't move through the desert. It moves through banks. According to Premium Times and Reuters, Nigerian banks have handled suspicious transactions linked to ransom payments, gold smuggling, and arms importation. The United States even shared intelligence with Nigeria's financial agencies, identifying accounts suspected of terrorism financing, but no prosecutions followed. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, knows the accounts. The Department of State Services, DSS, knows the names. Yet no one acts. Because in Nigeria, terrorism isn't just a crime, it's a business. It doesn't stop there. In 2021, the Cable and Daily Trust reported that the federal government paid 800 million naira to bandits for the release of Kagara students in Niger State. The deal was labeled a peace negotiation, but security sources confirmed it was ransom money. Imagine that. Public funds going straight into the hands of killers. The same killers who months later returned to kidnap more students in Tagina and Kaduna. Meanwhile, the government launched the so-called rehabilitation program for repentant terrorists. Some were sent abroad for foreign education under the Senate's Operation Safe Corridor initiative, a program that rebrands murderers as victims and victims as collateral damage. As one angry Nigerian said online, so a farmer whose family was killed gets no compensation, but a terrorist gets a scholarship. A former Air Force intelligence officer once described it perfectly. This government is fighting terrorism with one hand and feeding it with the other. The deeper you look, the clearer it becomes that this is not negligence, it's partnership. In 2021, Nigeria's Minister of Communication, Isa Ali Pantami, faced global outrage after reports surfaced of his past sympathies for jihadist groups. Old sermons where he praised Al-Qaeda and the Taliban resurfaced, and citizens demanded his resignation. He admitted making mistakes, but remained in office, shielded by the presidency. To the international community, this was a red flag. A man once accused of sympathizing with global terror networks remained part of the same government claiming to fight terrorism. Olai Mohammed, the then Minister of Information, who in 2023 publicly admitted that Christians were indeed being targeted in Nigeria, effectively confirming what the government had denied for years. Yet again, no action followed. And then there's Samuel Ortom, former governor of Benue State. In one fiery statement, he accused the federal government of colluding with foreign interests to Islamize and take over Nigeria. He said the truth most leaders fear to say, that the government's silence in the face of these killings is not incompetence. It's complicity. In early 2024, a viral image showed Nigeria's current vice president sitting on the ground, eating with men who had once been declared wanted bandits. The government called it a peace meeting, but for millions of Nigerians, it was an image of betrayal. Because while citizens are told to pray for security, their leaders are busy dining with the same people who burn villages and kill farmers. This is how deep the rot goes, from the battlefield to the cabinet table. When Kaduna-based cleric Sheikh Ahmad Gumi appeared in photos surrounded by armed bandits, many thought it was satire, but it was real. He openly advocated for negotiations, claiming bombing bandits will only worsen killings. Gumi even called the US an enemy of Nigeria for proposing airstrikes against terrorists. Instead of arresting him, the government gave him safe passage. That image, a cleric sitting comfortably among men with AK-47s, captures Nigeria's biggest scandal, the merging of state power